The sun had set. The great shadows came striding over the forest. In the weird twilight of a late summer day, I saw the path ahead glide on among the mighty trees and disappear, and I shuddered and glanced fearfully over my shoulder. Miles behind lay the nearest village, miles ahead the next. I looked to left and to right as I strode on, and anon I looked behind me, and anon I stopped short, grasping my rapier, as a breaking twig betokened the going of some small beast. Or was it a beast? But the path led on, and I followed, because, forsooth, I had naught else to do. As I went, I bethought me, my own thoughts will rout me, if I be not aware. What is there in this forest, except perhaps the creatures that roam it, deer and the like? Tush, the foolish legends of those villages. And so I went, and the twilight faded into dusk. singer came in sight. A tall, thin man, vague in the twilight. I shrugged my shoulders. A man I did not fear. I sprang out, my point raised. "Stand!" He showed no surprise. "I prithee handle thy blade with care, friend," he said. Somewhat ashamed, I lowered my sword. "I am new to this forest," I quoth apologetically. "I heard talk of bandits. I crave pardon. Where lies the road to Villefair?" "Corbleu, you've missed it," he answered. "You should have branched off to the right some distance back. I am going there myself. If you may abide my company, I will direct you." I hesitated. Yet why should I hesitate? "Why, certainly. My name is de Montour of Normandy, and I am Carolus Lelou." "No!" I started back. He looked at me in astonishment. "Pardon," said I. "The name is strange. Does not Lou mean wolf?" Why do you wear a mask, monsieur?" "It is a vow," he exclaimed. "In fleeing the pack of hounds, I vowed that if I escaped, I would wear a mask for a certain time." "Hounds, monsieur?" "Wolves," he answered quickly. "I said wolves." We walked in silence for a while, and then my companion said, "I am surprised that you walk these woods by night. Few people come these ways even in the day." "I am in haste to reach the border," I answered. "A treaty has been signed with the English, and the Duke of Burgundy should know of it. The people at the village sought to dissuade me. They spoke of a wolf that was purported to roam these woods." "Here the path branches to Villefair," said he, and I saw a narrow, crooked path that I had not seen when I passed it before. It led in amid the darkness of the trees. I shuddered. "You wish to return to the village?" "No," I exclaimed. "No, no, lead on." So narrow was the path that we walked single file, he leading. I looked well at him. I presumed that he was French, and yet he had a very strange accent that was neither French nor Spanish nor English, nor like any language I'd ever heard. Some words he slurred strangely, and some he could not pronounce at all. "This path is often used, is it?" I asked. "Not by many," he answered, and laughed silently. I shuddered. It was very dark, and the leaves whispered together among the branches. "A fiend haunts this forest," I said. "So the peasants say," he answered, "but I have roamed it often, have never seen his face." Then he began to speak of strange creatures of darkness, and the moon rose, and shadows glided among the trees. He looked up at the moon. "Haste," said he. "We must reach our destination before the moon reaches her zenith." We hurried along the trail. "They say," said I, "that a werewolf haunts these woodlands." "It might be." A shriek of horror broke from my lips. Beast eyes glittered beneath that mask. White fangs flashed in the moonlight. The face was that of a wolf. In an instant, those fangs were at my throat. Taloned hands tore the sword from my grasp. I beat at that horrible face with my clenched fists, but his jaws were fastened on my shoulders. His talons tore at my throat. Then I was on my back. The world was fading. Blindly I struck out. My hand dropped, then closed automatically about the hilt of my dagger, which I had been unable to get at. I drew and stabbed. A terrible, half-bestial, bellowing screech. Then I reeled to my feet, free. At my feet lay the werewolf. I stooped, raised the dagger, then paused, looked up. The moon hovered close to her zenith. If I slew the thing as a man, its frightful spirit would haunt me forever. I sat down, waiting. The thing watched me with flaming wolf eyes. The long, wiry limbs seemed to shrink, to crook. Hair seemed to grow upon them. Fearing madness, I snatched up the thing's own sword and hacked it to pieces. Then I flung the sword away and fled.